He was the hardest Filipino I ever met, who happened to be El Salvadorian.
Like I said, he was a celebrity in our neighborhood.
Like Arnold was Arnold. Like, that's Arnold.
He was a person of emotion. He had all the elements there. It was cool. He knew how to carry himself. He knew how to balance it out. It's one of his trademark characteristics. I was coming from Temple and I was coming over here and I could hear somebody playing guitar.
And his like electric guitar was like missing like 2 strings, but he'll still play it. Like, so he put up this whole like little like tent thing in the front like yard, and the only people that showed up were like me and James.
You know, nobody else is there. You know, it's just us and shit. You know, and he has no musical background, but he was doing what he wanted to do.
He dedicated a song to me, and it's called "Nicotine Freak." And he was like getting really off on it, and he was just like going crazy. Nicotine freak, you are a nicotine freak.
This motherfucker's sitting on a chair with this guitar and he's going at it and he's got the little boombox, you know, playing. Like, what the fuck are you doing, fool? You're throwing a concert. Fuck you mean you're throwing a concert? Because yeah, for the neighborhood, dog. Arnold was always known as a cat that would, he was down for whatever he was doing. And at that time, he was going to King Junior High. He got into a conflict with some gang members, happened to be of Latin descent. And he needed some backup, and us as friends were not going to be able to back him because we're not no gang. He joined a gang called Satanas, which is STS, and it's predominantly or mainly an Asian gang. And since he was from Latin descent and he wasn't Filipino, they made him go through a little bit more than any regular cat would do.
The penny right there, and like it burned. Like it sounded like a fucking. You know how when you throw an egg into a fucking frying pan and the frying pan's already sitting like it's like. And you throw it in, it's like. That's how I felt, and I just like turned away like this, and I was like, I didn't cry, dude. I held all that shit, and I was like.
Once he became a community activist in the area, he just totally let that go, that side of him go, but he kept it with him, as in the respect part of being in a gang, and he kept it with him, and that's why he respected what he was working for. He didn't do it just because he wanted to do it, because he knew he had to do it in order to make a change in our area. We live in the ghetto, dude, and there is nothing for us to do but play football every day, which we were really good at. Mr. Concordia, Farmer John, Big's brother, comes up to us and says, yo, I have something for you guys to do if you guys could help us out. And we were like, okay.
My brother drove up in his Cavalier, and he just said he'd jump in the ride, and fucking 10 of us packed up that Dodge Cavalier and drove down the street to Temple, went to SEPA, the youth center.
We get into SEPA and there's these bunch of high school girls, and we're just junior high kids. And they're fine as hell, like immaculate. And we had to do cultural dancing with them because there's nobody their age that wants to do cultural dancing. The girl that was there was really pretty, and Arnold wanted to join the thing, and then he just got more involved in it to the point where that girl was no longer a part of it and he was a part of it himself.
So we built our capacity, and we started this organization called Y-Stand, Youth and Students Taking Action in the Neighborhood. Yeah, with the D, big D, Y-Stand. And our whole thing was like, why don't we fucking write grants and do it for not only us, but all the youth in the neighborhood.
My class stands as I sit. They say Pledge of Allegiance, while I say no, teacher. I will not stand for something I don't believe in. The flag drowns me in poverty and I'm supposed to be loyal to that piece of flag. Guns and drugs are brought into the city as a man becomes richer. They do anything for a profit. That's a motherfucking bitch, just like the US government. These are thoughts of mine that come from my eyes. Don't get me wrong. This place is nice. Just keep in mind that the only reasons why other countries are torn apart is because of this place, the United States. I hate imperialism, and this is why I turn my flag around, the American flag around, upside down.
The first time I noticed that he was getting like fully blown out involved in activism was when the 187 proposition was coming up. And he was just passing out flyers and shit, talking to people. Yeah.
And he was the best out of all of us. You know, he would talk to everybody. You know, he would talk to the homeboys. You know, he was from the neighborhood, so he had that respect too.
And he's not just about having fun and kicking it and, you know, and messing around and stuff. He's about something real, you know, something that's gonna change our neighborhood.
Cause you know I just like fab like that. This shit don't be like another fucking fuck. Then I have to fucking punch you all around. Cause you don't understand what the fucking system does to you. Cause you know I am like fucking true.
It all started back like when we were seniors in high school because he was kind of lagging.
He had enough fun all year that he went, fuck it, I gotta suffer the last 2 months to be able to graduate.
He started going to night school, and he was going to school like 24 hours a day. 2 weekends before the graduation, he broke his leg, and he had like a cast all the way up to his like balls, and then he had to walk across stage with a broken leg.
He did it all in crutches, dude, like fucking riding buses, graduation, everything. It didn't even matter, dude. He, you know, to get the job done, he did whatever it took, man.
It was the 4th of July was gonna come up, you know, so we thought he wanted his friends from college.
So his mom was kind of calling us, and his sister called us saying if we seen him and we haven't seen him.
Then I started getting like a weird feeling, you know, like my brother would call like and like he would say like, "Is Arnold there?" Like, no. And then he was like, well, how come you're acting like nonchalant, like not a big deal? Because we thought we won't accept anything like bad happened to him.
I don't understand, you know, how the fuck did this happen? That he got hit by a fucking Lincoln Navigator on Alvarado and Beverly. And he was telling him, take me to the hospital. Take me to the hospital, and the EMTs didn't do shit. Nah, you're okay. Go home. And he was telling him, no, take me to the hospital. But they took him to fucking goddamn county. Because he didn't have insurance. By the time they opened him up, by the time they checked his vitals, it was so goddamn low that they had to take him in and start cutting him open. And he bled so much inside already that he fucking died. He died on the fucking 30th. We didn't find out till 5 days later. How the fuck, man? How the fuck, man? This fucking country that we live in, that our family came here to make something fucking better. Let this guy die because he don't got no goddamn insurance.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too.
It was just fucked up, dog, you know what I mean? It was like the system really let him down. And everything that he worked against fucking screwed him in the end and shit. Because, you know, he got hit and, you know, there's a shortage of EMT workers and shit. So you got the same motherfucker running like consecutive fucking hours and shit, just back to back to back.
They could have took him down the street to St. Vincent's, or like, there's another one like what, Good Samaritan on 7th, which isn't that far.
He had to go to motherfucking county, dog. That's the worst part. By the time he got over there, he gets on a fucking waiting list. And even the doctor, you know, I remember he was like, yeah, you know, by the time we got to him, he was like kind of swollen as shit because of all the blood loss. And here's the irony, was that they sewed him back up and they fixed him, but he lost so much blood that he fucking passed. What does that tell you, man? That every second was critical from the moment that he got hit to when he left, to he went, to, you know, to when he got to the bed over at county.
And he, you know, he died alone, you know. I mean, away from his family and nobody by his side or anything, you know. No friends, no, you know, nothing like that, you know. It was just by himself with strangers.
The whole thing that disturbs me about it is that, like, why did it take him like so long to notify his family? When they had his ID, you know, they knew where he lived. He was talking to the police. You know, I just don't understand why the police didn't, like, you know, notify his mom or, you know, someone at home.
And we had to go find out ourselves and shit. I mean, we didn't get no courtesy call. And the county was like, you know, when we asked them, how come we don't call them? Because they're not obligated to call anybody. And if they do call somebody, it's out of courtesy. What a spit in the face, dog. You know what I mean? Courtesy call.
Funeral, it was a trip, dude. 'Cause as we called people, you had different folks from everywhere. And the caravan was long as fuck. And it was like for a little second, this goddamn city stopped. It stopped and said, this was a good kid.
When he showed me his tattoo the first time, he just said that he liked the pi sign. He just liked the sign that it's an infinite number.
The pi thing for him, I guess it meant like forever. It means like nothing never ends, really.
And he got something that meant something to him, and pi was basically what he is, forever. And like forever, he'll be in our lives. Now it's a spiritual meaning for everybody. Like everybody wants to get on their arm, or on their back, or their neck. Like his sister got it on her back, and she got the whole 3.14. His brother got it on his stomach. John got his tattoo on his arm. There's a reason why people got this thing. It's not for looks or anything like that.
It was something to hold on to about him.
But if I was to talk to him right now, I would tell him about how he's now the godfather of my child, how he's been an inspiration to me all my life. I don't know, that I love him, and I don't know if I ever told Arnold that. Friends don't usually tell each other, hey, you know, I love you, or how important they are to you. You just consider them as friends, and they're there, you know, they're always going to be there or whatever, you know. And sometimes that isn't the truth.
Probably if he could sing that song again on his 3-string guitar. That would be cool.
I would say I miss him. I would say, like, I remember all the good times we had together. and that like where we going from here on in, don't worry about me or your family. You have to go on that journey. And like, I will also say that, you know, I love him. Give him a big hug. I have to let him go.
My tongue is a double-edged knife, and when I spit I get multiple stab wounds to the mic. Wounds so deep that the speakers bleed light. I recite the sun, I add up all the nonsense and subtract the sum. I come from the end of a gun where freedom lies, in between where the people fall and the people rise. I see the lies and the truth, I see the past, present and future when I see the eyes of the youth. We taking shots as if our lives were absolute, knowing damn well that the pigs didn't have to shoot. From the first to the 41st, from the cradle to the grave, from the coffin to the hearse, from the master to the slave. I squeeze juice from the fruits of our labor, take 2 sips and pass the